Привет всем, welcome to this review. We're going to look at a few things today. We're looking to look at extras from live resin and a few other things, put them one side. We're going to start off with this RPG models KAMAZ K-4386 Typhoon-VDV Воздушно Десантные Войска, which is basically airborne troops. This vehicle was designed for the airborne troops of Russia to use. So quite a new vehicle as well. Now, of course, Meng brought out this kit as well quite recently. I was going to go and get it, but I held out for this one, basically in the premise that it had a bit more detail. But as we're going to see, it's sort of a bit of a mixed bag. So anyways, let's open it up and see what's inside as usual. Okay, that's extras as well, so that's not part of it, and that's an extra. But basically, sprue-wise, we've got 1, 2, 3... extras 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rubber wheels and an instruction booklet. So let's open these up and talk about them in detail. We'll start as usual with the instructions. It's a booklet. Get quite a nice again, a tree layout there, basically, with all the sprues. Also some of the extras that we'll come to that are included inside the kit. Construction starts off, it looks quite an easy model to build when I look through here. So the chassis is just one large part and you add details onto its suspension. Looks as if it's got some sort of like non-glue if you want to make that gimmicky steering mechanism work for you. The sides of the vehicle are made up with two parts, so there isn't like one big drop on. You made it up from sections. And here's the interior. Now I'm going to tell you right now, the interior in here is a bit iffy. Let's just put it that way. Compared to the main kit, which had quite a lot of detail inside here, there's basically only the seats for the driver and co-driver, but we know that there should be something in there, but that's not covered in this kit. Now don't be too put off, but the instructions start to look a little bit cluttered. It's just that they call out every single little detail. But you know, most of the construction's done by this stage. You got the thing together and you're just adding in details, so there's just little call outs. It just looks sort of busy-ish, but nothing really too untoward. Like here, I mean, because they've got all these lines here, it just looks a bit cluttered. That's all it is, but this is straightforward, you know. Basically what they're doing, they're showing you every single little part is notified. By, what is it, stage 15, we've got the roof coming down on top of the vehicle. There's quite a lot of PE call outs throughout this, as you're going to see. When I look at the parts, there's quite lots of PE detail. And then you're building on the external components. By 22, yeah, you've got like the straight bar, recovery bar there, steps, more PE details, etc., etc. The mud flaps go on, they're PE. And then there's these external, I think they're electronic countermeasures or anti-IED devices, but I wouldn't be too sure. The turret is really basic as well. There's no hatch or whatever. And I don't think this is a hatch turret anyways. I think this is a remotely operated turret because it's got optics. You've got smoke discharges here as well. It seems to be one part. And as you'll see, we've got actually a metal barrel for the cannon. The paint schemes are, they aren't called out to any units or anything like that. And the colours, references we have are from Mr. Colour, Tamiya and Vallejo. They don't tell you what the paint colours are, but you can work them out. This is quite a new vehicle. There aren't very many schemes for it. But again, I mean, when it comes to building this, we'll do our own research and find out for ourselves. So basically, that's instructions. Let's look at the parts now. Yeah, we'll start off with this sprue. This is obviously, as I was saying, this one-piece chassis, which is going to make everything really straightforward. Obviously, it's quite a chunky component as well because it's got all the stiffening inside it. Should make things really easy. The side of the vehicle looks pretty good as well. They've got some nice detail there for that grille or whatever it is. Bolt details on here. Looks pretty good. There's the console of the vehicle as well. And one thing I did forget to mention in the instructions, there's no call outs at all for the internal colours of the vehicle. and that's probably because they just don't know what the inside looks like, so we have to research that ourselves. On here again, we've got some pretty good detail. We've got the mirrors there, they're all in one part as well. Usually you see this made out of 3 or 4 parts, but as long as that can be separated cleanly off the sprue, we're okay. Here's some of these side bins as well with all latch detail, air filter in 2 halves. That's the rear entry point there. And this is the other half side of the vehicle, and also the bottom. It's a V-shaped whole vehicle, and there's the interior, which of course we're going to be a bit skeptical about. I'm just sure that they just don't know what the inside of this vehicle looks like. Just show you this. This came in one bag. Don't worry, it hasn't fallen off of sprues. These are separate components that are slide molded. I really like the detail of the grille. It's perfect, and it doesn't need photo etch in this case. Really has that good look to it. I think this is part of the cab roof, and another part of the cab roof here as well. Some more details. Here's another detail sprue. This is part of the rear part here. Here's part of the lights. The casting's really crisp and really strong. The detail looks really good. There's no flash. You can tell this is one of these higher pressure moldings. 2 times mirror sprues like so, so we only need to look at one each. Here is the wheel, not detail. Looks really good actually. Looks very good. And also these dock boards, what are they called? Mud boards, I don't know what you call them, but basically you can see that they're hollowed out, so those would be really good to use. Yeah, detail looks fine, everything looks crisp. As usual, you're going to get some small detail parts on there, but we can cope with that. And we've got 2 sprues like such, which are suspension components, the seats. Also the smoke grenades are, you know, kindly molded in one part as we would expect. This sprue contains the turret. I should have mentioned actually, they brought out 3 versions of this. They brought out this turreted version, which is the one that I wanted, one without a turret, and another, like, I think it's 2 kits in one. But look at the fine detail there of the 30mm cannon. You do get a plastic barrel, and that is slide molded, so hollowed out. But as you'll see, we've also got a metal component. All the detail in there looks really good. Okay, this is the transparencies. Of note are the LED style front headlights, which have been sufficiently detailed. And I should have pointed this out before. As you can see, these windows here are thick armor type glass, and these ones are also thick. They've actually molded them thick to represent armored glass, and I'm glad they've done that as well, so it looks right. And I'll just bring you back actually and show you this sprue in greater detail, which is the door, because armored glass is thick. I mean really thick, up to an inch and a half, and they've got the correct depiction of depth, so that is a plus point for this model. 4 times rubbery tyres, actual, not plastic. And as you can see, hopefully this picks it up. Sidewall detail with Michelin on them. Tread pattern looks superb. And massive plus here. What is actually missing is anything in terms of any sort of flash or mold seam down the centre. So those are really good to use. But as you'll see, we've got some extras for these. I've just opened up the bag of extras with the PE. This is what made me choose this kit. Was it had more PE detail than the Meng kit. I wouldn't like to say that the Meng one's worse or better, or this one's worse or better. It's just your own choice, but this looks like it's going to be quite a lot of fun to build. That's the sort of conclusion I'm reaching. Further details on here. These to note are the straps for the fuel tanks, but look at the fine mesh detail here, and also these mud flaps as well look pretty good as well. Here's the small sticker sheet, which is basically, it's got the console, and then I think another part of the console, and it's actually got some number plates as well for various vehicles. It doesn't tell you which ones they are exactly, but you've got some number plates. Very kindly, you've got these are cut out masks for the windows, so that makes painting a lot easier, obviously having the mask supplied within the kit. And also these are really tasty little bonus parts. We've got the barrel in brass, the 20mm cannon, and also we've got the mirrors on reflective sheet. So that's basically all the kit parts. Now I'm going to show you some of the extras that I got from Armour Hobbies and the live resin figures. Okay, so in terms of extras that I've got, these are Armour Hobbies' own resin wheels with Michelin logo cast on them, and also they've got a weighted effect to them. There was meant to be more in this package. There was meant to be window tints, but instead all I got was these wheels and the green paint that were, these were a special price. Okay, so in case you don't know, Live Resin are a Russian company. They've got a Facebook page. They specialize in these really highly detailed resin extras, weapons, basically modern Russian, modern American seems to be their sort of forte. I'm going to show you these figures. It's the first time I've had live resin before details, but this is the very first figures I've ever had. Got a special price on these as part of the pre-order, and the actual detail is just blowing me away, to be honest. Makes me wish I'd ordered a few more. But as you can see, the kit itself for the figure comes in quite a few parts. You've got the torso, legs, boots, arms, the weapon, and the ancillaries as separate components. But I'm just going to show you these details now, if we can see them. Yeah, I'm just going to zoom in and show you the sort of amazing detail that are on these figures. The face looks good, but look at the boots. The boots have got the tread pattern underneath them. It's just absolutely staggering. I'll show you some more close-ups just so you get a feel for this, but I don't really need to talk. I can just sort of show you. So this figure here, he's just a standing figure, as you can see from the box art, so he'll make a nice accompaniment. And the second one that we'll look at, he is sort of designed to be sort of looking outside the vehicle, so he should fit in really nicely with the VDV. But I'm going to continue to show you some details now. Yeah, the weapon is more than two parts, so they can get the detail of the hand on the weapon correctly. Quick look at the second figure. One thing to note is that these guys, the modern Russian camo is known as Flora. It's like a very intricate digital camo, and to paint it, I just don't know. I think it's going to be a challenge. Yeah, so here we go. A few more parts actually in this one. I'll show you the detail again. You can see the helmet is molded separately. There's the figure's face, and those boots again, which I just can't get over actually, the detail on them. Notice they've got they've got two right arms and one left arm. Just I'm not too sure why actually. It must be just to adjust the pose, but I'm not too sure why. I think they make these figures out of many components so that they can sort of make them they can reuse the components in different figure sets. The armor looks really good, and also it's really quite nice that they got the recess there that the head will go into, create that depth around the neck. Quite a few ancillaries with this one. The weapons pouches, mag pouches, binoculars, etc. binoculars need to put into the guy's hand. I honestly don't know what that is. It might be something for the weapon. Just point out as well on the box, it says it fits all Typhoon K and Typhoon-VDV kits. So that figure is designed for the model that we have. And obviously we'll see a diorama in the future. Hope you enjoyed the review, guys, and you're going to hear a little bit more about this build later on.